Welcome. Soldano, company that we all want to play because, I mean, come on, the history, the sounds, the people that played them. Wow. Obviously, they have the SLO 100, also the SLO 30, but the 100 is the amp you want. Well, now they did the Super Lead Overdrive, the SLO Pedal, which is supposed to, be like the amp. And we all want to believe that the amp in a box pedal can be like the amp. But is it really? So I embarked on a journey to really compare this pedal to this amp, which I own, and give you the information that you need to make an informed buying decision. Is the pedal like the amp? Let's go through some stats. Price, we'll start right there. We'll go right into what matters to you. The amp in Germany right now is 4,199 euro. No, this is not a budget amp. It is the amp you want, but damn, is it up there. The pedal, I think, on release, which should be now, so I can't look it up because it's in a month from now, 229 euro. So the pedal is absolutely not like the amp. Let's go into some other stats. Weight. Now the amp clocks in, it's not so, fat and it's not a huge head, but it clocks in at 21 kilograms. The pedal is too light to show up on the scale. So we're going to go with it is much less than 21 kilograms. Therefore, it is in no way like the actual amp. We're going to go into the width. This is obviously a head. There are bigger ones, I already said that, but the head is 63.5 centimeters. Figure out what that is in your freaky deaky Dutch American values that nobody cares about. Sorry guys, I love you. So 63.5 centimeters. The pedal width is 7 centimeters. And again, I think they're completely lying to us. The pedal is in no way like the amp. The height, which I deemed this on the amp, clocks in at 25 centimeters. And yet again, the pedal is not 25 centimeters. The pedal is 7 centimeters if we want to look at this as height. The depth of the amp, which is, how deep does it get? It's not very deep, is 22.5 centimeters. There are much deeper heads out there, and that leaves the last measurement of the pedal, which is right there, which is 4 centimeters. So 22.5 and 4 is not the same number. Therefore, the pedal is in no way like the amp. I think they're trying to bullshit us. Here's a pedal. It's like the amp. Clearly isn't. Let's go into knob width. The knobs do look very much alike, which is nice. It's just a smaller version. So the knob width on the actual amp is 2 centimeters. Now, to be like the amp, this would have to be 2 centimeters. What is it? It is 1.2. Now, how is this like the amp if this is 1.2 and this is 2? 1.2 is a different number than 2. Mathematically speaking, this is absolutely not correct. So I think they messed up there. We have the number of knobs. Now, on the amp, we have 9 knobs in the front. And in the back, we have 3 more, for a total of 12 knobs. Now, on the pedal, if we count this together, we have 6. Now that is half the amount of knobs that are on the pedal. And yet again, how is that the same? I don't get it. Number of switches. The amp has 4. 3 in the front, and no, that's incorrect. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether. The pedal does have a switch on the side called deep, so there is 1. 6 versus 1. Again, many more switches, therefore better. I mean, the price says, 4,200, obviously better than the pedal. We're going to convenience factors. The handle. The amp comes with a nice leather handle to carry its 21 kilos. The pedal has no handle. Maybe because of the size, they're thinking, well, you can just take it in your hand. No handle necessary. Okay. Let's look at the on-light. The amp has a beautiful Fender-style big crystal on-light with a diameter of 1.6 centimeters. The pedal, nope, it doesn't. It's not the same. It is 0.7 centimeters. Right there. Tiny little thing. I don't know how that's the same. We fall into this, oh, here's our pedal and it's from the same company, so obviously it's like the amp. It obviously isn't. Channels. The amp has 2 channels. Normal, which can be switched to crunch, so technically that could be counted as 2. And overdrive, which then technically is a 3rd one. Mine is a special custom thing they did for a guitar player that I cannot reveal, which actually has another one in the middle. So technically mine's got 4. Generally speaking, it's 2 with clean and crunch. So I'm going to count that as 3. This has no channels. It's 1. So 3 versus 1. Again, not the same number, mathematically speaking. Wattage. The amp clocks in at 100 watt. The SLO 30 obviously at 30 watt. The pedal has no watts. So how that's supposed to sound the fucking same, I have no idea. Tubes. The amp has 5 of the little ones and 4 of the big ones. There's little ones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back there's another little one. And there's 4 of the big ones that they're much bigger tubes in the back. This pedal has 0 tubes. So 0, how can 0 sound like 9? 0, 9 are different numbers. All the numbers are different. Transformers. 2 big-ass, beautifully custom-crafted transformers only made for Soldano. 0 transform. I don't know. I haven't opened it, but I mean, I assume there's no transformers. I mean, maybe small ones? I don't know what a transformer is. FX loop. The amp has a beautiful switchable effects loop with a level knob on it. It's one of the knobs in the back. The pedal has no effects loop. So clearly not like the amp. Impedances. The amp comes in at 4, 8, and 16. This has no cab selectable impedances because it doesn't have wattage. If it had watts, then it would need imps. But without watts, you don't need imps. The amp has 100 watts, so it's got 3 different imps. Fuse. No fuse that I can detect. 2 of them in the back on this thing. The amp has a line out. No line out on the pedal. So, again, different. The amp, this is the one thing where I could see that it actually is the same. And maybe that's where the magic is. The amp comes with a beautiful white foot switch that you can plug in the back. The pedal has the foot switch built in right here. So that's a cool thing where they're really exactly the same. They have one foot switch. The amp can be ordered for extra money in beautiful custom options, custom toe legs, I think even custom colored front plate. If you wanted that, if you wanted the amp in white or in snakeskin or whatever, or in tweed, you can get that. The pedal comes in white, no custom options. And that brings us to a very important thing. The pedal is available now. The amp has several month wait time. So if you want to get a Soldano product that has one feature in common with the actual amp, which is the foot switch, then get your Soldano SLO pedal right now, because the amp, you're going to have to wait for. You're going to also have to spend $4,000 more than on the pedal. I think we covered, a number of jacks we didn't do. This has 2 jacks, in and out. This has an in, and then effects, and then foot switch, and then 2 speakers, and then the line. So that's 7 jacks. 7! I mean, that's gotta be better than 2. At least mathematically speaking. I mean, unless you're like counting in jail, because 7 years in jail is not as good as 2 years in jail. So maybe 7 isn't as good as 2. It really all depends on your perspective. Oh, power. I forgot that. 9 volt. Doesn't come with a cable for that. Here in Europe, this is 240 volts. In the US, 110. So it sounds like the US version is less good because it's less, unless it's, again, we think of jail or something bad where a higher number is worse. But this one is 240 volts. This is 9 volts. So bottom line, the foot switch is the only thing where I could see any resemblance between the SLO pedal and the SLO amp. If you want to know more about it, go to their website, go to your favorite dealer. I will link to Thomann and Sweetwater below because I have affiliate links. So if this video made you want to buy a pedal that says Super Lead Overdrive, is made by Soldano and has one feature, the same foot switch, as the actual amp, then go ahead and use the links. That really helps me. Thank you to Boutique Amps Distribution for commissioning this video. And we're going to put animals at the end.
You believe it's worth it? We're tired of fighting, breaking our hearts, and everything we worship is reducing to rubble and falling apart. Let's not go back to where we started. You believe it's over? It hasn't been like before, and I don't think it will. It's time to slowly get sober. Like an addict who long for the magical pill. Let's not go back to where we